Adaptations for flight is your heading. We're going to talk about flying. Adaptations for flight. Yeah, add some extra time. All right, the first adaptation for flight for birds is a light skeleton with hollow bones. A light skeleton. The less weight you have, the easier it is to get it off the ground. Now, their skeleton isn't completely hollow. Basically what it is it has air pockets. They're air pockets that reduce the mass. I don't know how many people have flown on an airplane before, but I've been on an airplane before where we're all loaded and ready to go, and they said we are overweight. And we sat there for an extra half hour or something while they burned off fuel to get to the point where we were underweight and we could take off. So the less weight you have, the easier it is to get off the ground. I mean, look at something like an ostrich. It has a big body, a heavy body. It would take a lot of energy from those wings to get it off the ground. So light skeleton with hollow bones. They have contour feathers. Contour feathers are usually colored, and they give the bird a sleek shape for flying. Contour feathers are flight feathers. They can be fancy colored, maybe to attract a mate. But these are flight feathers. Their role is to push air and get that bird off the ground. If you go to a zoo, I'm using the Omaha Zoo a lot because that's kind of where I grew up, and it's an awesome, awesome zoo. But they'll have birds walking around, different types of birds, and they don't have to worry about them taking off because they clip some of their contour feathers. So on one of their wings, they will trim it kind of like a haircut, trim the contour feathers, and they won't be able to be balanced enough to get off the ground. One of their wings will push more air than the other, and they'll be off balance and won't be able to fly. Contour feathers are flight feathers. They also have down feathers, which are for warmth. You see the difference there? Here's a contour feather. Here's a down feather. Down feathers are for warmth. A lot of birds, like geese or ducks, will have down feathers close to their body and then contour feathers over it. So those down feathers will keep their body heat in, and then the contour feathers will help them fly. Maybe you have like you see old movies or something where they have a pillow fight and there's feathers flying everywhere. Well, those were down feather pillows that people used a lot now. That's pretty rare, but as a kid we had this blanket, this giant blanket. I think it probably weighed 15 pounds, and it was full of goose down feathers. It was like from my grandma. And we didn't have any heat upstairs growing up, but if you got underneath that thing, you could survive a blizzard. That it was so warm because of those down feathers. So down feathers are for warmth. Birds also have, a lot of them do, have an oil gland located on the back of their tail, which makes their feathers repel water, and this is called preening. You take a duck, for example. If you've ever seen a duck sitting in the water, it always seems to be like picking at its rear end, like digging in its rear end with its beak. Well, what it's doing is it's touching its beak on an oil gland located on the back of its tail, by the back of its tail, and then it wipes it on its feathers. And oil and water do not mix. Oil repels water. It beads it off. If you wax something, like wax a car, and then it rains, the rain beads right off of it. It doesn't get it wet. Well, water birds need to be able to go, if your feathers are wet, you can't fly. So if you keep your your feathers waterproof, then you can fly from the water. So if I'm a duck sitting on a pond and something is trying to eat me, I don't have the time to get out of the water, wait to dry, and then take off flying. Okay, I want to be able to fly right from the water. So if my feathers are waterproof, I can do that. And that's called preening, waterproofing feathers. Birds also have excellent vision. Oops, we'll go here. For landing and spotting prey. I think it's amazing how you can watch like a hawk land on a tree branch and it knows exactly where it's going, like the foot-eye coordination. Also, it's amazing for eagles and hawks to spot a little mouse or a rabbit in the grass and from way up there and be able to catch it. They have excellent vision. Someone says, I'm watching you like a hawk, it means I can see every little thing that you're doing. They also have powerful chest muscles, which makes sense because they fly. We as humans, what are our strongest muscles are going to be our glute muscles, our glutes, which are basically our butt muscles because we walk and run and jump and all that. Our leg muscles are much stronger than our chest and arm muscles. Well, birds, they don't need strong leg muscles, most of them. They need big, powerful chest muscles to fly and to fly long distances. Let's stop there for today.